Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Lifestyle with Dr. Moby. I'm Dr. Moby, and let's welcome Melissa.
Hi.
Thank you, Melissa, for coming to our show. It means a lot to me and my watchers here for Lifestyle. So tell us about yourself, Melissa.
Well, I'm a business owner and podcast host. So I like to keep busy. And if I'm not busy, I find shows like yours to come on and talk to more people.
Okay, great. And it's always fun like this because you get to basically feel great first about what you're doing, and second is you get new ideas and
Mhm.
talking to different people, and same way we do. We get so much motivation from our guests and their stories and how they doing things and what everybody is unique.
Exactly. Every person has their own story. It's up to us as podcast hosts to
Mhm,
find it and tell it.
mhm. So tell me a little bit about when did you start into podcast?
I started in radio in 2017 and I was on a station down in Atlanta. And I
Mhm.
just transitioned from the station to having my own show that I ran and produced myself.
And what kind of show was that on radio?
That was mostly a talk show for talking to get authors their names out.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, okay, it's great talking to authors. I love books, but there's so much more I have in my personal preference when I talk to people like business, mindset, coaching, entertainment, everything. And I can't just do it on that show.
Mhm. Okay, and I'm glad that you started with your own show and podcast, and I see that you have done a lot for the music too, and you have interviewed a lot of musicians too on your show, and we'll talk a little bit about that too.
Of course. I love my musicians.
Okay, so tell me also about. I think there was also mention about some medical emergency you had.
2011, if you believe it, I was 28 years old, had three strokes and a craniotomy. I couldn't talk, if you
Oh,
could
wow.
believe that. Couldn't walk, and it's been a life changing event going from relearning everything to where I'm at today.
Okay, and so why it happened that you had at such a young age? Was that?
I had a mass blood vessels
Hmm?
in my brain that had to be removed, and they ruptured.
Oh, wow, sorry to hear that. But must be, you are really amazing that you overcame not only that, but you are actually sharing with a lot of us and also being motivation for so many people who sometimes find it hard to juggle all these.
Exactly. I was there. I was in that dark place of no hope. I'm just depressed and I'm making myself more depressed. And it took friends and family to get me to go, hey, you can't do what you were doing, but what else can you do?
That is true. So tell me, I know one thing, of course, was very difficult was that you suddenly realized that you had this deficit, and I'll
Mhm.
ask you, what kind of deficit was that when you had experienced the first time the strokes?
The first that's well, I couldn't speak English. I have what they call foreign accent syndrome. I was speaking Romanian. No one I know speaks Romanian. So relearning English and communicating again because I was thought I was speaking English. What people heard was Romanian. It was a 2 year ordeal with that. Then I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. I couldn't
Wow.
feed myself. I couldn't hold a pencil. So
Mm-hmm.
going through everything in 2011, 2012 was just mind shattering. And you
Mm-hmm.
take someone who's naturally upbeat
Mm-hmm.
and take everything away, and you're at ground zero.
Yeah, yeah, that must be very hard. So, what was, I know, hardest thing, of course, was the deficit by itself, but do you think the more difficult was that the other things which were making it more harder for you?
There were outside influences that made recovery hard, and
Mm-hmm.
that was the negative people I surrounded myself with. When
Mm-hmm.
I let go of the negative people, family, friends, both,
Mhm.
Then I started to thrive. This is what brought me from 2017 to here, is letting go of all the negative and finding the positive people to surround myself with.
Very nice, very nice. And that is so true. I think worst thing anybody would do is, for some reason we also, when I do a lot of shows and, you want to hear some and see, okay, well, did I do well or didn't? But,
Hmm.
there's no need to hear criticism because you will find most people will criticize you,
Hmm.
or there will be, I think I was reading, there are usually like 300 to 400 negative comments, and there are only 3 or 4 positives.
Correct.
So you really don't need to, I don't ask anyone to give me feedback on, first of all, I analyze myself and see, where did we do wrong or what else we
Hmm.
can do better. But I don't, I think if you make yourself like just say, oh, find a fault with me or whatever, there will be people will just crush you. They will just give you so much negative feedback that you start realizing that you should quit right away.
Hmm. It is. It's you become your own worst enemy because you start listening to all the negative
Mhm.
instead of listening to your inner voice.
Mm. Yeah, doing your own criticism is separate thing,
Hmm.
and I think everybody should look at themselves always and say, where could I do better? And that's perfect. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you let other people talk negative and then they pull you down, maybe this could have been. Well, first of all, a lot of people will criticize they have never done anything in their life. Okay,
Correct.
so, and then they will try to say things which, if you ever ask them, do you ever do anything? They
Hmm.
say no. And this is very sad. And so
Exactly.
and then they I don't think there is any need to do that. So, but keep doing the surround yourself with positive people, like you said.
Mhm.
There's no need, and you will find way. You will correct yourself too. Don't worry if you didn't correct in 10 episodes, you'll do it in next. Don't worry about. Nobody's counting. So it's just you. But if you have this ambition that you want to do perfect, which is great too. But I think it will come to you. It will come to you. But have passion and surround yourself. I think you did the best thing is taking all negativity away from you, and I'm sure that helped you to recover very fast.
It helped me recover a lot fast just by getting rid of the negative influences around me.
Mm. And also tell me a little bit, were there other things beside, of course, these negative influencers that helped you, like watching what you eat or exercise, sleep, or any of
I
those?
have changed my diet. I have changed my exercise routine. I know go to the gym at least 4 days a week.
Okay.
I now in the summertime or with the weather's nice, I'll go and hike 5 miles. That's my normal now.
Mhm.
Now before I my stroke, you wouldn't catch me off my couch if I didn't have to be. So I have completely changed my lifestyle since my strokes.
Mhm. Okay. And how does it feel that now you have changed it? Do you feel more positive vibes with that?
It is a lot more positivity, and I can't, for the life of me, have a day off where I'm doing nothing, sitting and watching TV. I have to be exercising or doing something.
Mhm.
I can no longer just sit on the couch and watch TV for 8 hours. That's not me no more.
Mm, very nice, very nice. I'm glad that also very important is for people to realize that you know we actually feel also kind of blessed with so many blessings once we feel that part is not working or some part of us stop
Mhm.
working or we get sick.
Right?
But then we really feel that, oh my God, I had all this, but I never realized. You know
Hmm.
that I was so blessed with that, right?
Correct. I took the time from 2016 till now. I have 17 books out.
Very nice. Very.
So, I mean, I'm constantly doing things to better myself.
Hmm.
and to have my podcast better other people, to inspire others.
So tell me about your books. What are the topics you have?
My books are primarily fantasy. However, I
Okay.
am working on my first self help book because I am a licensed self help coach. So, this is something that I just got certified in.
Hmm.
So, I'm writing a book based on everything I tell people every day.
Hmm. Okay,
So,
so this is based on your common theme or the one you use in your podcast. And for
correct.
everybody, I'm just putting your website. It's her first name, and first and last name actually, mlruscsak.com. So you can check her, and this is has everything, your home, and also this is you, and with your bio
Hmm.
listed, and these are your books, right?
Hmm. That is my books, my magazines, everything's right there on my website.
Wow, you're doing amazing. Oh my God, I can't believe that you have so many books, and this is all inspired or by after you had your strokes and everything, right?
Everything is after.
Uh,
I was told in 2016 when I published my first book, Dr. Moby, that I wasn't an author. Here I am 17 books later, and the ones that are criticizing me because I'm not an author
mhm.
are still saying I'm not an author. But, I'm killing it. So
Well, that's good. That's actually very funny because people also told me same thing too. So that I'm not author and I have my book too. So it's
isn't that
I
funny?
said go and figure out. That's fine if you don't classify
Yeah,
me as an author. Good for me, So it doesn't really matter. So
no, it
it's
doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. So also tell me about your first book. Which one was your first one?
The first book was in the Light and Dark series. It was called The New Rain.
Hmm.
And my then 13-year-old daughter inspired me to write it.
Okay.
My then husband said, I bet you can't write a book and get it published. Okay, challenge accepted. I looked at my daughter and said, okay, give me a topic to write it about. She says, a fairy princess coming into her own kingdom. So this is what led into Princess Nisha's story and her becoming queen of her kingdom.
Wow, very nice. And this is your number two?
Number two is the Obsidian Chronicles, which is the second series.
Hmm.
And then that goes with a character that's in the second book of the Light and Dark series. So it's all intertwined, and you have to read all the series to understand the entire story.
Very nice, very nice. Is it more for kids or adults or both?
I wrote it primarily for the new adults, young adults. However, I'm finding a lot more adults are falling in love with the story.
Hmm. And I see your children book too.
Mhm. I have a collection of dreams, The Kingdom of Dreams, which is bedtime. It has 3 or 4 bedtime stories in it. They're very short, and my younger daughter loves them.
Hmm. Okay, very nice, very nice. And this was your number fifth, and then of course you kept on going
Yes.
with it. So now your first one is you said it's about dark and lies and
Mhm.
truth and blending, and this is of the work of dark. What does that mean?
The world of light and dark, if you
Okay,
think about it, it's light and dark is positive, negative. We
okay,
all live in light and darkness. We all know two truths. It's
okay,
up to us to really find what those truths are.
okay.
Just because we see it doesn't mean it's true. That just because we read it or hear it doesn't mean it's false. We
Mhm.
have to do the research and actually find out what our truths are.
Mm.
That's the bigger meaning.
Mhm. No, that is actually very true. And for also, audience, like I always emphasize, truth and, false narration always is side by side.
Hmm.
And then it's up to us actually, like you said, to research. And so matter and antimatter, dark and light always are together. So it is which side you want to look at, right?
Hmm.
and that is true. So if there is a good, and then there is also evil, bad, always together.
Right.
So then
And
it's yeah, yeah.
sometimes our inner circle gives us misinformation and feeds us false facts.
Uh-huh. And so those are actually very important then when we realize that. And you say your magazine is also there now.
My magazine is out. It's called Trainpreneur, and that is for businesses.
Okay, so for every business, all kind of business, or
All time kinds of businesses. It's for authors needing advice on how to get their book published. It's for entrepreneurs needing to know how do I get funding? What is SEO? What is how do you do marketing? Do I need marketing?
uh-huh.
There's a whole bunch of things within business that's within the trainpreneur.
Okay, and what is concept art? Yeah.
Concept art is the art that I created for my books.
Mhm.
So the reader can just not only read the book, but see what the characters are like inside of my mind. Now, it might not be what they see because when we read something, it's completely different. But all the characters are ones that I've done myself.
Very nice. So these are your own creation, and
Those,
are they inspired by somebody you met?
they are not inspired by anyone. Maybe some of their personality traits are from TV or internet or people I come across, but the people themselves are have not been crossed my paths as of yet.
Okay, so I want to ask you about this one. So what does this signifies in the
That
art?
is Nisha.
Okay.
That is Princess Nisha. She's 18 in the first book,
Uh-huh.
and she's a very domineering female. She's
Uh-huh.
very stubborn, does things her own way, and won't take anything from anyone.
Okay. And why is she looking more on one side?
She was actually that's the wedding photo.
Okay.
So she's looking at the battle that's coming to her wedding because they're trying to break down the doors to stop the wedding.
Oh, okay. So she's looking at that, and
Hmm.
she's focused, and she's like no showing no emotions on that, right?
Exactly.
Okay. And then we have, is this the same princess?
That is the same princess. There's a lot of Nisha in there.
Okay. Okay, and that's her same thing.
Yes, that's her
Okay.
as well.
Okay, that's okay. Very nice. I mean, I love her colors. Look
Thank
at the
you.
dress she's wearing. So I hope you have similar dress or something.
I do not, but my daughter's into fashion, so I'm hoping eventually she'll make me a dress just like Nisha's.
Just like missions. Okay. So also tell me about what are your plans for next months or years to come?
We are taking my podcast and getting a studio built. So my podcast will then be on Amazon as a TV show.
Very nice. So you're getting the on the Amazon TV.
It will be on Amazon TV.
Very nice. Very congratulations.
Thank you.
That is amazing. So that is amazing. So so your show comes every week, or is it?
It's 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday,
Hmm.
as it is on the internet now. And it depends on the show because there's actually 7 different shows within the podcast.
Hmm.
There's the talking entertainment, which is my musicians or producers or whoever's in the entertainment world. There's the author's corner because, authors are near and dear to my heart.
Hmm.
The business aspect has business and entrepreneurs, but it also has the money matters. So it's 2 different shows. One's for investing and in crypto relations, and the other one is all your information where to go as a business to find other businesses that you need to network with.
Hmm. So that is getting you on. Also, tell me a little bit about musicians. So I know you have probably interviewed. Is there any particular you do more, or is it
I
pretty much?
I just did a wonderful interview both for my magazine and for the podcast with DC Glenn. which is one half a tag team. So that was a wonderful interview to get to sit down with a platinum artist to discuss not only music but how he got there.
Very nice, right? And you would you like to share some about them?
DC Glenn, I think we know him now more for the Geico commercial scoops. There it is. I mean, who doesn't love the sprinkles? That's his like tagline now. But he came up from, you know, 90s doing whoop, there it is. And now he's in films doing voiceovers. Shark's Tale was one of them. It was just a wonderful interview because everything in entertainment that I talk about to different people, he does. It's not just music. It's he tells me how he does his SEO. He tells me how to build his website. There's everything in there as a business owner that we need to know, but also to look behind the curtain what musicians have to go through just to keep their name relevant.
No, that's very impressive that he rediscovered his kind of multiple talents and is using that. You won't find many musicians like that. You know, many musicians I also meet, they are still into the old thinking that,
Mhm.
where, remember those days where you used to have those it sell so many records and then there will be platinum or whatever,
Mhm.
but those days are gone. I think now it's very hard to actually, if you don't kind of find new ways and
Mhm.
new things, that is very fascinating that is into SEO and all website and all that. That's very impressive.
Yeah,
But
he's doing a lot of cross promotions, and it's not, you can't just be a singer no more. You can't just be one thing. You have to have your hands in many different aspects to be successful now. You can't just be known for, oh, one song. You have
yeah,
to be able
those
to do
days are gone,
lots of
and
things. Yeah.
and I tell you, I have my three songs, so far, and then we did three videos for it, and I actually did all those videos myself. So, now I do with uh, commercial ones, but we had to come up with video for the song to be successful, because people, as you know, this YouTube and Spotify or all those, um, by itself, Spotify, all those listening, there will be some, but you have to use social media. You have to be very active on it,
You
if you
do.
want, yeah, if you really want some success. Um, I'm first time artist, so there's nothing wrong. So, but I think we managed to get into that break the barrier, and I would say we got 30 plus K on YouTube, and then
Mhm.
all the networks. So, which is great. I think knowing that writing your first three songs is the hardest.
It is sometimes this writing the first song and getting it out is your hardest step. You have to
That's
do
right.
the first one to get over the fear of can I do it?
Yeah.
Then it's easier.
Then it's easy. That's true. And our my first was actually about COVID, unsung heroes, and me being physician. So we were on call, working in the hospital, so we wrote that song. So that was the inspiration. So
We find inspiration in everything that we do.
that is true. And so, and I shot all that video in 1 hour. So in the hospital. So can you believe?
Well, that's great that you are able to use a hospital for your song.
Well, of course, we covered,
Mhm. Yeah,
those
yeah.
the private areas and everything, but it's just we were able to. Nobody can tell us which hospital is that, but at least we were able to use, actually showcase those unsung heroes. In my opinion, those are, as you know, with COVID, is one thing sad very about is
Mhm.
those people dying and so many deaths. Also, is very equally important is those healthcare workers which are still fighting, and they're getting tired with all this. Just somebody had to appreciate all, right?
Very true. I have cousins that are nurses that are very tired of working in the hospital. You know, it's just one case after another, and they're not doing their normal. Here's a pneumonia case. Here's a whatever. It's all COVID, and it's just they're tired.
Yeah, and it is tiring, and I think that's inspiration. So, thank you for coming to our show. Any final thoughts you have for my listeners?
You know, I talk to so many people. I'm blessed to be on the show, so thank you.
Thank you, and thank you. Your story really relates well for empowering everyone. Feeling that we are all blessed in a way, and we always have to look inside. We have strengths always.
Mhm.
And like you said, dark and light always is together. All you do is kind of analyzing yourself and look in yourself, and you will find answers to a lot of problems. And you will have miracles too, depending if you believe in yourself or not, that you are capable of achieving that miracle.
That is very true.
Okay, so I think your story is no short of miracle in my, yeah.
Thank you.
So, well, good luck and keep bringing more and more, books, podcast, and be blessed. Take care. Thank you.
You as well. Thank you so much, Dr. Moby.
Take care.